So this is what it looks like inside of our community. We wanted to give you a walkthrough of what you can expect when you join. This is literally everything all in one location. You can see the community here where people are asking questions, sharing wins. You can actually see all of our wins here. And we have people who, have housed their first person. Stacy actually is in Seattle. We helped her negotiate a 2-year lease. She's doing rental arbitrage on a beautiful home that is fully remodeled, has 2 kitchens, and she'll house likely 11 or 12 people there. She actually got her first resident moved in, and just this week on our coaching call told us that she has 2 or 3 more lined up who are being referred to her right now. We also have people like Kevin, who is operating, working on an owner finance deal. We talk a lot about creative finance in this group. We have Hector here, who's a nurse who works a lot of double shifts and just bought his first home to use as a sober living property, his first investment property. Sean here is one of our best case studies, joined our program roughly 4 months ago. Within 90 days, had 2 homes up and running. He lives in Texas. The homes are in Ohio. Him and his business partner were able to get those started and they filled up their first house within 90 days of joining our program. And what's cool is it's actually been only 6 months since they met each other and started working together. So you can move very fast once you're inside of our community. Laura here is actually opening up 5 homes right now in Kansas, 5 homes at the same time. I thought I moved fast with 5 homes in 12 months. Jessica is going to be converting 4 homes in the Sacramento market over the next couple of months. And yeah, you can just see Merida here in Phoenix actually just got her first rental arbitrage, and on one of our coaching calls walked us through her process of talking with landlords and convincing them to work directly. Our coaching helped her in getting that rental arbitrage taken down, getting that lease signed. And then Philip here is actually in the Detroit area. He's converting 7 homes at once. So we have people of all different experience levels sharing wins, and I love to see it. Inside of our classroom, we actually have all of our trainings here. And so we do cover real estate specific training for the people who come in with little or no experience, or maybe you've only done 20% down types of traditional rental property acquisition. Whereas I've mostly only worked with hard money, private money, or creative finance. And we talk through that here with a 2-hour training on exactly how I built my portfolio using really none of my own money. So that's all right here. This is actually our 8th home that we bought subject to at a 3.875% mortgage, and we just took over payments. Easiest transaction I've ever done, easiest purchase, and we get to use a cost segregation study and write off a ton of depreciation on that property. But this right here is our flagship course where you can see we talk through the basics, right? My story of how I started 5 homes in 12 months. 5 sober living homes. What exactly is a sober living home? How to choose a location, all of that. You get a checklist and a deal calculator. We talk through all the backgrounds of people that we house and where they come from. We also talk through the legalities, how to lease a property, all of that. But the number one thing that I think people miss is they don't talk enough about how to make sure you fill up your homes by finding referral partners and doing market research at the very beginning. So we do give you a framework around how to do that. We give you a spreadsheet to fill out when you're doing your research and finding different organizations, writing down their contact information. We teach you exactly how to engage that list and what questions to ask. Example phone calls of me reaching out in a new area, so that if you're somebody who's never picked up the phone and cold called before, honestly, it's going to be a warm call. We coach you through and give you an email template to send out. But I just want you to hear me have the conversation, hear my tone, hear my word choice, so that you can have the same type of conversation yourself. But instead of having you do all this on your own from the very beginning, like we used to, we decided, let's take that off your plate. Let's speed this up over the course of, let's take off 2 to 3 months of work. And we just asked our people, hey, what city and county are you in? And now we have folks in over 20 states, over 40 locations where we have already pulled the list. So for instance, Baltimore, right? All these organizations, typically over 50 or 60 organizations, you have contact information, you have email addresses, you can send our email template week 1, get connected with everyone else you need to talk with. From there, since you're probably going to get phone calls and people wanting to send people to your homes, immediately we teach you how to actually run the home, preparing to open, what tools and resources do we use, what software, what security cameras, our shopping list on how you can furnish for less than $2,000 instead of $20,000 like an Airbnb. a tour of one of our homes so you can set yours up the same way. And it just goes on and on. We cover any and everything you can think of. Our intake sheet, you get all the documents that we use in our business, house rules, our license agreement, again, so that you can not have to deal with tenant law and tenant issues. And especially if you're in certain areas, like in areas of California that have rent restrictions, you don't have to deal with any of that because our people have a license to a bed. They do not have a lease. So we can revoke that license. It's very conditional. If they follow the rules, do their chores, do what they're supposed to, then they have access to the bed. As soon as they make a decision to not do one of those things, we can choose to no longer offer them that bed. We do not have to evict. In 3 years, I've never had to evict anybody. And then kind of day-to-day operations, an actual policy and procedures manual that's roughly 40 pages long that is vetted by the National Alliance of Recovery Residences. We've had people fly through the process of certification in the states where that's more necessary. And instead of it taking 3 or 4 months, it's literally taking 3 or 4 weeks for some of our students. We do cover corporate structure. You get a free call with our partner, Prime Corporate Services, and a discount by using this link. If they set up your first entity, usually they will do that at no additional cost, just whatever the state filing fees are for that first LLC. But they want to talk through your situation and cover limited liability. So avoiding risk, avoiding liability in your situation, but also what's specific to your state and how do you add in anonymity so no one can find you and sue you. You want to keep a layer of anonymity when you're setting up your entities so that you're not becoming a target for people who are just, hungry for a payday. And then we talk through how to manage your properties and manage the financials. There's a P&L here. There's also an interview with one of my house managers and even the hiring documents. So you get any and everything you could possibly think of here. We have live recordings from every single one of our calls, over 50 hours of content at this point, including a call with my CPA, who literally took me from a high-paid real estate agent paying $30,000 a year to the IRS to getting a $17,000 refund the next year after I started working with him, even though my income doubled by running homes like this. So we cover any and everything. This alone is worth the cost of our program. It will save you so much money when you understand how to do this and align it with the tax incentives that the IRS gives you. And something that we've covered over the last few months is even how to start a separate business that is licensed and provides additional support and recovery treatment to the people living in your homes already. So once you have a few homes established and you have basically clientele just sitting there, you can vertically integrate, start a separate program like an intensive outpatient program. And although it's usually $100,000 to hire somebody to consult to start a licensed treatment program, we give you all of this literally for free as a bonus to show you the next path once you have your homes up and running. And a leaderboard so that as you're contributing to the community, we can offer higher levels of trainings and something that's specific to folks who, as a thank you, just for giving back. So that's what it looks like inside of our community. Literally every question you'll ever have is answered, and we have a calendar where every Wednesday right now, every week we have a coaching call that's roughly 90 minutes long where you can get any question you have answered and connect with a group of like-minded people who are focused on not just income, but impact in their communities. If this is something you want to do, go ahead and click the button now and schedule a call, and we'll walk through a deal calculator, what it could look like for you to get this started, and honestly, how to fill your first sober living home in the next 90 days.